So, today we're tackling something huge. We're not just talking about what you know, but how you prove it. We're going to build this really powerful framework for showing you're a true expert. Moving beyond just rattling off definitions to really showing you have total command of your subject. Okay, picture this. You're in a high-stakes job interview, or maybe an academic review, and you get hit with a tough question about a core concept in your field. This is it. This is the moment of truth, right? The question isn't just, do you know the answer? It's, can you prove you know it? How do you give an answer that just screams, I've got this? All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with that core challenge of proving you're an expert. Then I'm going to introduce you to a mental model I call blueprints and bricks. From there, we'll apply it to three totally different fields, research, economics, and accounting, before we wrap it all up with how you can use this to really build your own mastery. So let's dive into our core formula, blueprints and bricks. At the heart of everything we're about to talk about is this one simple but really powerful idea. It's the key that separates just knowing stuff from having that deep, functional expertise. Think of it like this. Anybody can memorize what a brick is, but a real expert, they're the architect. They get the blueprint. That's the theory, the rules, the why behind it all, and they can show you how that blueprint tells you exactly where every single brick, that's your practical example, your real-world application, needs to go to build something solid. See? True mastery is all about connecting the two. Let's put this whole framework to the test with our first example. We're jumping into the world of research, where, believe me, the difference between methods can absolutely make or break an entire study. Okay, this one trips people up all the time. It is so easy to get them mixed up, but an expert can lay out the difference with crystal clarity. So how would you tackle this using our blueprint and bricks model? First up, the blueprint for stratified sampling. The key idea here is to create groups that are really similar within themselves, but different from each other. So imagine dividing a university into freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. To get a real picture of the whole university, you have to sample from every single one of those groups. Now, the blueprint for cluster sampling is almost the total opposite. Here, you divide the population into groups, where each group is like a diverse, little mini version of the entire population. Think of different high schools in a city. Each school has a mix of all kinds of students. So instead of sampling from every school, you can just randomly pick a few schools and survey everyone inside them. It's way more efficient. And what's so cool about this is how it lays the blueprints right next to each other. See? Strata groups are similar on the inside. Cluster groups are diverse on the inside. With strata, you take some from all the groups. With clusters, you take all from some of the groups. So the bottom line is this. Strata is all about precision, and clusters are all about efficiency. And this right here, this is the brick that makes the theory totally real. Imagine a multi-layered cake. Stratas are the separate layers. You've got chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. You absolutely have to taste each layer to know what the cake is like. But clusters? They're complete vertical slices. And because each slice already has all the layers in it, you only need to try a couple of slices to get the whole picture. Brilliant, right? So what's the most basic piece of this whole puzzle? Well, it's the single person you survey, the one individual data point you collect. That's your sampling element. In our cake analogy, it's a single crumb. In our building metaphor, it's that one essential brick you use to build your entire wall of data. Okay, let's switch gears and see how this builds. We're going to apply the exact same framework to the huge, fundamental concepts that basically organize our entire economic world. Let's start with the biggest blueprint of all, business. You should think of this as the master plan, the giant umbrella that covers absolutely everything. Any organized activity that's aiming to make a profit, from a solo freelancer all the way up to a giant multinational corporation, it all falls under this grand architecture. And nestled inside that blueprint is industry. This part of the plan is focused purely on creation, on production. We're talking factories, mines, construction sites. Industry is all about making things. And the other major branch, that's commerce. This part of the blueprint is all about distribution and exchange. It's not about making the product. It's about getting that product from the factory to the customer. This covers everything from retail and advertising to banking and shipping, the whole shebang. So the crucial point is this. Industry creates value by making something, while commerce distributes that value by getting it where it needs to go. Business is the entire system, and these two are its essential interlocking branches. They can't exist without each other. And here is the perfect brick, the analogy that just makes it all click into place. If a business is an entire orchestra, industry is the musicians and the instrument makers who are creating that beautiful sound. But without commerce, the people selling the tickets, managing the venue, promoting the show, that music is never heard by an audience. You need both to have a concert. All right, for our final example, let's turn to accounting. In this world, there's a core principle known as the Convention of Conservationism, and it guides how companies report their financial health. It basically acts as a crucial safety net.
The blueprint itself could not be simpler in what it's trying to do. At its absolute core, the Convention of Conservatism is a guideline that tells accountants to always err on the side of caution. When you're faced with uncertainty, you choose the path that presents a more sober, less rosy financial picture.
So how does this blueprint actually work in practice? Well, it boils down to 3 simple rules. First, if you think you might lose money, you record that possibility right away. Second, you do not record any profits until the money is literally in the bank. And third, you value what you own cautiously, never ever overstating its worth. And here is the perfect analogy, our brick, to make this tangible. Think of it like a weather forecast. I mean, it's just common sense, right? You prepare for the storm by packing an umbrella at the first sign of a cloud. But you don't break out the sunglasses and celebrate the sunshine until it is actually here. This principle just applies that same cautious wisdom to a company's finances. So there we have it. We've walked through research, economics, and accounting. And we've seen how the same core pattern for showing real expertise holds true in every single one. So now let's talk about building your mastery. This right here is the key takeaway. True mastery isn't about having a mental list of definitions you can recite. It's about seeing the architecture, the theory, the blueprint, and then being able to grab the perfect, tangible example, the brick, to show exactly how it works in the real world. That connection, that's what proves you don't just know something, you own it. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Think about the most fundamental, the most important concept in your own field. What is its blueprint, the core theory behind it? And what are its bricks, the tangible examples and analogies you can use to prove to anyone that you don't just know it, you own it?